Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, October 12th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm happy to be joined by our Alex Gleitman. Happy Columbus Day out there, people in Columbus and the rest of Buckeye Nation. Alex, before we get to Kareem Walker and that whole situation, let's start off with the news of the weekend, which is Ohio State using JT Barrett as its red zone quarterback. I love this move. I should have maybe saved my opinion for later, but I just can't. I just absolutely love this move. I just feel like that is JT Barrett's strength, whereas it's not Cardale Jones' strength. Cardale's strength, though, is stretching the field, and that's not JT's strength. I absolutely love this. Urban Meyer has proven he can win with this, as he did in 2006. Not that any Buckeye fan wants a reminder of that, but Mr. Gleitman, your thoughts on J.T. Barrett being used as Ohio State's red zone quarterback?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm someone who's not a fan. I think if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. But that said, it's hard to argue 5 red zone trips, 5 touchdowns in an area where Ohio State was clearly struggling through the first 5 games of the season. They're, I think it was 53% around the numbers this year in terms of red zone touchdowns conversions versus last year, which I believe was like 82 or 88%, something like that. And with the fact that Ohio State isn't strong in the kicking game, the Buckeyes had to figure out something. Now, I think everyone would love to keep the same quarterback out on the field and, be able to convert in the red zone. With that in mind, you do have J.T. Barrett, who's an excellent talent, a guy who finished in the top 5 in the Heisman last year. And, I think being able to have the defense account for an extra runner in J.T. Barrett, an extra player, being able to run, the option a little bit, and do things that maybe Cardale Jones can't do in the red zone. I think it's a strong move by Ohio State. I heard J.T. Barrett. This was before, obviously the game. I was hearing last week that last week was his best week of practice as an Ohio State Buckeye, and that, he was really making a play, not only for red zone time, but for the starting job. He's, as Urban Meyer said, until someone beats Cardale out, it's his job. So, J.T. Barrett's working toward that. But getting him in the red zone, I think, was an excellent move. As you mentioned, it's his strength, and as long as it helps the Buckeyes, I think it's a good move. So, we'll see how things go. I think it's going to be interesting to see certain situations. You saw when Cardale completed that long pass to Braxton Miller, they left Cardale in the game to finish that drive. I think that was the right move. You had the momentum. You could go with tempo. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle situations like that moving forward, because when it goes right, everyone thinks Urban Meyer is a genius, but the one time it goes wrong, people are going to second guess him. So managing that's going to be tough, but overall, good decision.
Yeah, I think this is a permanent move, and so many things have happened. There's so many moving pieces with the quarterback situation, but I think they have finally found their answer, and we don't know if it's going to work, but I think this is the concrete plan moving forward. I do not think this is a one-time deal for the Maryland game. I don't think if it goes a little shaky one game, assuming they win, that they're going to move away from it. Alex, I think this is a permanent move for the rest of the season. Now, things can change as far as if somebody gets injured or somebody's not playing well, but all things being equal, I think this is a permanent move. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I do too. You're not going to roll it out. And, unless it was a complete disaster. And let's all not forget, Maryland is not a good team. Their defense, they have some talented players on the defensive side of the ball, but they are not a good team. Ohio State, the Jacoby Bourne holding penalty, a couple other things, mistakes and things of that nature. I thought they could have rolled up a few more points and won by a wider margin than 21. But, I do agree with you, though. Put that aside, they're not a good team. This worked. It worked well. If it was a complete disaster, I don't know how they would have went with it, but I think it's something that's here to stay. And the one thing I'm actually interested in seeing is, Cardale Jones, I thought, was very good against Maryland. I thought it was his best game as an Ohio State Buckeye. He didn't turn the ball over. He made smart decisions. He threw the ball away. There was a couple, errant throws. Braxton Miller bailed him out on one. He could have had a touchdown on if he hit him on the money. And a couple other plays where maybe he could have executed a little bit better. But I'm curious to see, if Cardale continues to progress, that's great, and I think this is going to work. But if he isn't playing up to snuff and J.T. Barrett's excelling in the red zone, could J.T. Barrett take over the starting job? That's what I'm going to be looking forward to seeing, in the rest of the season.
Switching gears, Kareem Walker, Ohio State commitment, number 1 running back in the country, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite, visited Michigan for the Northwestern game, official visit to Michigan. Alex Gleitman, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned should Buckeye fans be about this?
Well, it's not a big something, but it's not a nothing either. You knew Kareem Walker was going to take visits. He was out in Arizona State this summer. He might take an official there. I think one of the coaches on the DePaul Catholic staff has ties to Arizona State, so that's no surprise. I'm hearing he's going to go to Alabama and Ole Miss for an official outside of Ohio State. I think it was a little bit of a surprise that, being committed to Ohio State, knowing his relationship with Tony Alford, knowing how he kind of looks up to Ezekiel Elliott and has a good relationship there, and knowing the opportunity for immediate playing time at Ohio State, that he would go and visit, the rival school. And for a while, Kareem did keep this under wraps. He told the Ohio State staff of his plans to not only visit Michigan, but visit other schools. And, Ohio State really doesn't have a choice. They could either drop him or they could accept it. And I don't think they want to drop Kareem Walker. They've been telling him that he is the back. He is their back in this class. And so, they kind of have to just accept it. It's not something they like. Jim Harbaugh obviously wants a player of that caliber. There's a lot of New Jersey guys in that class. They were all up in Ann Arbor this weekend. They're trying to work on Kareem and flip him. But at this point in time, from everything I'm hearing, I'm not that concerned. I think it's definitely a situation to watch, just like his other visits will be as well. But in the end, at this point in time, of course, things can change. It's recruiting. Everything's fluid. I do expect Kareem Walker to still sign with Ohio State. I know he's trying to get everything in order academically and with his high school and the Ohio State admissions department to be able to, and the NCAA, of course, to be able to enroll early at Ohio State and Columbus, compete for that starting job with Mike Weber next year, assuming the likelihood that Ezekiel Elliott goes pro. Briante Dunn also in that mix. So, again, I think it's something to be concerned about, maybe a 5 or 6 on the scale right now. But, I think a lot of people are freaking out about it. And I think right now you just have to sit back, let one of the best staffs, if not the best staff in America, do their thing. And hopefully, I'll find out a lot more for Bucknutters as I will be going to Brooklyn Poly Prep to see DePaul Catholic play there on Friday night. Kareem Walker, obviously, for DePaul. And on Brooklyn Poly Prep, Isaiah Wilson, a 5-star offensive tackle in the class of 2017 that has Ohio State among his leaders.
A 5 or a 6, so not too bad, Buckeye Nation. You're straight from Alex Gleitman, and that's good news. You're going to see him on Friday. We'll get to hear the scoop from the horse's mouth when you get to talk to Kareem Walker after that game. He is Alex Gleitman. I am Dave Biddle. A programming note, as usual on Monday, we will chat with Urban Meyer later today at 11:40 a.m., so make sure you check out our story and our bolt and our video on what Coach Meyer has to say at 11:45 a.m. today. We will then interview assistant coaches and players from noon to 2, so make sure you check out our bolt stories and videos on what the assistant coaches and players have to say. Thanks again to Alex Gleitman, and thanks to you for tuning into the show. I really appreciate it and hope you have a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.